Hello, this is Jason Guest for Group Atchen. So this is our software here. What you're seeing is the routes page where we can create routes and add tours to them. So I'll show you that. So we create a route, just add, just regular name, task, give it some ID, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or something. Give it a start, and this is in longitude, latitude. We can register for this route. So see, this route was just added. When a route is set as registered, it is green. When it is not, it's red. And if we have a route on here, we can double click it and just say register and it'll register it. We can also add tours now to our routes. So we can schedule a tour, and by default, it just gives it an ID of the same ID number as the route. But once we've created more, we can choose from the drop-down list. And that was mainly done by Nate Robinson. So I implemented the duration method, which calculates the duration of the route based upon the length of time, or no, the length of how far it is, which will need to be changed since at the very end of the sprint we kind of changed the start and end destinations from just kind of arbitrary number of places to being longitude latitude. So I'll have to in the next sprint kind of fix the duration method for that. But it does pull from the object and bind it to this UI component here. We also added I added the new bus edition kind of lookout here. So we can just add some names, add descriptions, estimated time per thing in hours. We can give it a priority, and we can show progress of how far the thing has come. And it shows here in a nice little bar. It's a nice drop-down list, and that's all nice and done. The drivers has also been implemented here. So we've got a driver in this list already. We can create a new one just to show you guys the how it works here. And so we have a new driver done. We can add tours, so we can assign buses and tours to each driver as they come in. It's like you would if it was an actual business. Keeping it nice and smooth, nice, and shows up as in a clear list for everybody to see. So tours, buses, routes, and files. We've also got this new tours tab in the left here, so we can see the tours that have been created. We can create more tours if we want to, and assign them to our routes in the routes page.
We got a visitor.
We can register for this route. Yes, given the ID. So we give an ID of a route, and it'll find it if it's there and register it for that route, and that'll be reflected in this page. A tour created. So that's most of what we really kind of, this was a big UI implementation kind of sprint. So, what we really got here is a lot of route creation, implementation, information on the routes being created, creating drivers, assigning them tours, assigning them buses, creating buses, showing, the percentage of, what they've done, giving them start and end dates for their routes and tours, assigning them to tours, giving them deadlines and priorities. So that really we've done a lot in the front end for this point too. But according to quality practice, so what we set aside for the planning in the sprint for everything that we did that was kind of hard coded, we wanted to have unit tests for. So the methods that could be tested, we tested. We wrote unit tests for those. So we have a lot of kind of back end going into this too for things like the duration method, creation of drivers, routes, tours, and buses. We have all that being unit tested. And we also did kind of check style tests, and those were big parts of the user stories that we did. But as you can see, the software functions nicely. It's definitely been drastically changed from what it was before, making sure that we delivered kind of some key functionality for business purposes. We definitely met our sprint planning goal. We got all the user stories done, and we made it individualized in that it shows things pertinent to a bus scheduling software.